In this video, I'm building a medieval house for a merchant family. Merchants were kind of a middle class of medieval times, or rather, rich people that worked for their riches. There was no actual middle class in Middle Ages. But this house will be in the middle of medieval homes that I built on this channel. I've done very small medieval homes for poor peasant families. I've done tiniest possible medieval houses combined into little village. And I also done a huge manors. I built a manor for Landgrab family and a castle for Goth family. And today I'm doing something in the middle. A nice big family house with enough room for everyone, with a big kitchen and a garden outside, but it's not like a manor. I'm building this house for Pancakes family, for my medieval version of Pancakes family, but you obviously can use it for any family. It has 4 bedrooms or 5 bedrooms because there is also a very small bedroom for servants in the basement, but it's kind of sad looking. I don't know if you would want to use it for your Sims. And all of the builds that I do on this channel are on my gallery page. My name there is LunaGamesSims. I've changed it. If it's not first build video of mine that you've seen, you may have seen different nickname, but now it's LunaGamesSims and you can find all of my builds there. Usually even before I post videos about them. The shape of this house is very simple, it's just long rectangle. I was building this from reference picture and I really like how simple it is. And also thought that it allowed me to have as much space on inside as possible, and I need that space because Pancakes in my save file actually have 3 children. They have their older son Iggy and newly born twins. I gave this house a brick wall, but I used 2 types of bricks, both from cottage living, and I use them kind of interchangeably on the walls. I was kind of texturing the walls like it's Minecraft, not Sims. This is something that I would do if I were to build a house in Minecraft. Use different blocks that the same color but different texture. It may or may not relate to the fact that I was watching Minecraft videos as I was building this. I didn't even realize that I was influenced. I've lately been itching to play Minecraft, honestly. I made a little walkway underneath the second floor of this house, so the first floor split into 2. It adds some visual interest and also creates a perfect place to hang your laundry. If it's raining, your laundry will still dry in The Sims. I did similar texture thing to the roof that I did to the walls, using 2 black roof textures but slightly different, and also added a lot of ivy to the walls to better blend in my 2 different wall textures, but also to hide the fact that windows on this house are very unsymmetrical. And next to this house I added a decent sized garden. I really wanted this house to have a garden, to grow some vegetables for food and also have chickens. I used some debug items in decorating this house, mostly on the outside part. I really like this fence that I used around the garden, but I could not find a matching gate. Don't know if such a thing exists. Gates in The Sims 4 are weird in general. I don't like most of them. For some reason I could not find the gates that would match this fence that I chose, except in Cottage Living Debug. There is this debug gates that match this base game fence perfectly for some reason, including this watch. Sims 4 is just weird like that. I also used some size down walls and columns from debug to create fences at the front of the house and add these stone bases to wooden columns. I really like werewolves wooden columns, but sometimes I feel like it needs stone base, and usually I would use debug short columns. If I remember correctly, they are base game. And I also used some haystacks, sacks with something, dirt or potatoes, crate with onions, and all of that from Cottage Living Debug. Cottage Living has the best debug catalog in this game of all of the packs that I own. This house has 2 main floors and also basement. Basement is almost entirely kitchen, and I put all of the bedrooms on the top floor. There are 4 bedrooms on this floor. 2 bedrooms have a double bed. In the original Pancakes house, Bob's and Eliza's bedrooms are separate, and I decided to keep that. Despite the fact that my medieval version of Pancakes doesn't really have that same degree of family drama, I have a series of videos on my channel called Medieval Makeovers where I give makeovers to Sims 4 townies and come up with my own medievalified lore for them. And I did one for Pancakes family, and in the short, Bob is a pretty successful merchant and him and Eliza have been forced into this marriage by their parents but made it work with respect and kindness. I also love how whoever came up with Pancakes house and their lore decided to use separate bedrooms as an indication of unhappy marriage. Which is funny for me because separate bedrooms is a privilege, not necessarily something bad. I think most people share bedroom with their partner because they don't have a choice. How many people have a spare bedroom? And also some people are snoring, so sometimes separate bedrooms can be a necessity. So I decided to keep separate bedrooms, but the reason of it being that they both like their privacy and comfort and alone time. All of these medieval families exist in my Ultimate Decades universe, and I want to incorporate Pancakes family a little bit in my Ultimate Decades Let's Plays, specifically Eliza. I want her to be my gossip lady, kind of like Lady Whistledown, if you're familiar with Bridgerton series. I'm familiar with it a little bit. But instead of society papers, Eliza just gonna tell the gossip, because my Ultimate Decades main family doesn't know how to read. I just thought that what if she travels with Bob? Because Bob travels for work, because Bob is merchant. Maybe he just really likes his family, he wants them to be with him always, even when he travels. It was a little bit easier when they only had Iggy, but now Neighborhood Stories gave them twins. But my idea was that Eliza travels with him, and because of that, she can see and hear a lot of what's happening in the Willow Creek or other towns, and then tell it to other people. And one day, our main family from Ultimate Decades can meet Eliza and Bob at the market and hear from her something interesting. Not necessarily something groundbreaking or extremely important, just fun. Eliza also related to my Black Widow, like literally related. She's her aunt. And she attends every wedding of my Black Widow. I feel like I haven't done a build video in forever. Last one that I did was Poor Medieval Village, but then I became a little too focused on Let's Plays. And Let's Plays are still my main focus, but I still want to build. I like building and I like making medieval builds and I like playing in my own builds. The whole reason why I'm actually building this house for Pancakes family because I will be playing in it in the next episode of Black Widow. We will visit Auntie, which will allow Black Widow to stay in Willow Creek and maybe meet some single rich man in Willow Creek. Another build that I really want to do and should have done actually a long time ago is Tavern for Hanford and Bagley, the town that I regularly visit in Ultimate Decades. I've been meaning to build a medieval version of that bar or just build the medieval tavern on that spot for quite a while, but then I became distracted by Very Veggie. Let's play. I can tell you about my building plans, Sims 4 build plans. Maybe some of those you like more than others, and then I can make them first. I never even thought about doing that, like telling you all my ideas for builds to see which one are more interesting than others. But next one gonna be Tavern. I need to do it because it's something that we keep seeing in Ultimate Decades episodes. Another thing that I want to do is farmland. And it's a little bit complicated to explain, but first of all, I don't want to create a medieval fantasy world without farmland, which is kind of a common mistake in different media, like games, movies, of these big fancy cities existing and farmland nowhere to be seen. And there's supposed to be a lot of it, actually. So I want to dedicate at least one lot to farmland in each town in The Sims 4 that I will be playing in Ultimate Decades. Or maybe not each, because there are towns like Magnolia Promenade where are just 4 lots. I definitely want one in Hanford and at least one in Willow Creek and in Windenburg. How I want to do it is actually using eco-lifestyle community space mechanic. There is a special lot type called community space, and that community space can be either generic community space, community garden, marketplace, and makerspace. And makerspace focused on fabrication, recycling, woodworking, stuff like that. And I actually really like those community spaces because it means that NPCs doing that activity that community space is for. So if you have community garden, NPCs, townies will come there and garden. They will plant crops and they will water them, weed, take care of them. You can also put insect farms there. They will take care of insect farm, but I don't really care about that. And I thought that I can make a farmland, basically just a giant field with a lot of space to plant crops and maybe a little house. It will allow me to hide inside of it like a bathroom. And then I will be able to turn that lot into community garden and everyone will garden in there. Now when I think about it, I can try utilizing a marketplace from that same community space mechanic as a marketplace in my medieval save. I'm curious if NPCs will come and sell their things. It would make my already existing marketplace a lot more lively, because right now, wherever in Ultimate Decades my family goes to sell their vegetables at marketplace, there is just us selling goods and no one else. It feels a little lonely. That's another idea that I want to build in near future. Another bigger build that I want to do, I want to build a house for Johnny Zest in Hanford and Bagley. It's all probably so confusing if you don't watch my Ultimate Decades. I realized just now that I'm making this voiceover very not inclusive. I'm sorry about that. Johnny Zest in my medieval save called John Landgrab, and he and his family lives in Hanford, separate from the rest of Landgrab family for their own good. But he currently don't actually have a house, they just live on the empty lot. I want to build like a villa for them, something very bougie looking, but still fits with Hanford. Another build that I want to do is to do a house combined with blacksmith workspace, blacksmith shop, and I want to also put that in Hanford and make it a retail lot, so we could go there and buy goods made from metals. I don't know yet how I will be doing that, because the whole idea of blacksmith in the Sims comes from the mod of blacksmith skill and a career that also comes with that mod. And I usually don't do builds with custom content in them, but maybe I could do builds specifically dedicated to that one mod, because it's like one mod and everything, a career and items and a skill comes with it. Would you be interested in builds with custom content, but like narrow focus on one mod? Or one maybe custom content pack. Another way that I can do it is just make it woodworking shop instead of blacksmith shop, so it will allow me to do build without custom content. In my own game, I could easily replace woodworking table with blacksmith table. They kind of the same size. Oh, and I also for the longest time want to build a medieval bathhouse. I thought that it would be something that I will build first for Hanford. Then again, I got distracted by Let's Play content. Apparently bathhouses were quite popular in medieval times for lower class to go and bathe in the communal bath. My main family in Ultimate Decades still doesn't have a proper bath. They washing themselves in the sink. They have a little bath for toddlers and infants. It looks like just a tub. I feel like we still can use a bathhouse. It also will be another thing to go and do outside of the house. I love giving myself reasons to leave the house, because if I don't do that intentionally, I will just be spending all the time on my Sims home lot. The only thing that I am afraid of is that I will run out of lots in Hanford. And also I have a couple of build ideas that are not related to medieval times, shocking. And one of them is to build a house without using buy menu. I would allow myself to use build menu, like walls, windows, doors. For everything furniture, I would give myself a challenge to gather that in-game. Craft things using woodworking, knitting, fabrication, or try to find things in the dumpster. I think it would be a fun challenge. I just don't know how I want to do that, because it would have to be in a modern setting because of fabrication and dumpster diving. All of those things give you modern items, very modern looking items. But that's all of my build ideas for near future, and this list is growing a lot faster than I able to accomplish it. Maybe some of those ideas sounded a lot more interesting than others to you. You can tell me about that in the comments. Or maybe you have other builds that you would like to see from me. Also tell me in the comments. I will add them to ever-growing list of build ideas. And the reason why build videos got pushed to the back is because I had a genius idea to start Very Veggie Let's Play alongside with Ultimate Decades and Black Widow, and 3 series at the same time just wasn't a good idea for me. I tried it doesn't work for my brain, it doesn't work for my speed of uploads. I run into month-long gaps between episodes of certain series. Month-long gap between episodes of Ultimate Decades, unacceptable. So yeah, I will abandon Very Veggie. I only did 2 episodes. I actually filmed 3rd episode, but no. As much as I like it, it's just not a good idea to have 3 series at the same time. And it's sad because I genuinely enjoyed Very Veggie. I had fun, and because I started it in kind of different universe in modern setting, I thought that I would use it to play with all the elements of the Sims that I don't get to play with in Ultimate Decades, gameplay wise and aesthetics wise too, all the cute custom content. And I also had very fun thought regarding Very Veggie, because I started joking that broccoli first generation is indeed a vegetable that been turned into human via some science experiment. That means that somewhere there is a scientist that did that, and first generation of Nuts of Berry is a scientist. So wouldn't it be so fun to have Nuts of Berry and Very Veggie in the same save file and play rotationally, and by the end of her science career, first generation of Nuts of Berry, Mint Berry, creates broccoli that starts Very Veggie legacy. And then second generation's also kind of similar. Second generation of Very Veggie Eggplant doesn't believe in love and breaks other people's relationships. And second generation of Nuts of Berry, if I remember correctly, also kind of dates around, supposed to leave their spouse at the altar, their fiancé at the altar. They can meet each other or even date. I'm not gonna do any of that. It's just thoughts that I had when I was playing it. But if you need very complicated and unhinged gameplay idea, here you go, and good luck. But also, despite the fact that I say that playing in the modern setting felt fun, but at the same time it felt kind of disconnected, I think I've gotten so attached to my Ultimate Decades save. I like the My Ultimate Decades and Black Widow happening in the same save. I feel genuinely so invested in both of the series. Originally, when I first thinking about starting Very Veggie, I thought about making the medieval version of it. It's not actually that difficult, at least for the first generation. It's not much about it very modern and technological. She does arts and crafts. And I even created Broccoli originally as a medieval character. I will put a screenshot of her somewhere on the screen, and then put her into modern clothing because I thought, oh, it's probably not gonna be interesting for a lot of people because this challenge is kind of new, so people want to see it played as it originally intended. But my first instinct was to put Broccoli in the same universe as Ultimate Decades, and maybe these vegetables could have started farmlands, like I could have built farmlands with them. But for now, 2 series is enough. After I've done with Black Widow, I think I will pick up something else, but it will probably be in the same Ultimate Decades universe. I've been watching Sims YouTuber Yasmin's Corner and her videos about her Sims 4 Forever world or Forever save, which is idea that originally came from Minecraft YouTube of Forever world, just one world that you create and play in it forever instead of creating a bunch of new ones and starting over again and again. She kind of took that idea into The Sims 4, applying it to The Sims save, where instead of creating new save every time, you play in the same one and kind of keep building it up, keep progressing its story. Maybe you're playing with different households. I feel like if you're playing in the same save, you eventually will come to playing rotationally or to some form of rotational gameplay, because it also can look different for everyone. And I feel like that idea of forever world in The Sims 4 speaks to me so much, to the way I approach Sims. That's how my brain works. I create this world and I want to see it live and change and move, and I want to see stories, and I get attached. I get attached to a lot of things that I should not be getting attached to, like to pixels on the screen, aka Sims 4 characters. And I think at this point I can tell that my Ultimate Decade save is very much my Sims 4 Forever world. I do some weird save file copying shenanigans to make Black Widow happen in the same timeline but without messing timeline of Ultimate Decades. I like make a copy of Ultimate Decades save play episode of Black Widow and then try to copy information that changed back into the original save file. It's a little bit odd way to do it. There is a probably better way to approach this, but I can't really just play rotationally because the time and the days moving is so crucial to Ultimate Decades. I cannot just pause aging and play with Black Widow because day of the week will be moving and I need them. And I need them not moving because I track years. Very Veggie for now is done. There is very few people that subscribed to me from Very Veggie episodes, so I don't feel so bad about abandoning it. Maybe I should talk a little bit about House on the screen. I tried to show a little bit of Eliza's personality in her bedroom. First bedroom that I did was Eliza's bedroom, because she's a gossip lady, but she doesn't really, write any society papers. Not really her thing, but she likes to keep notes about things that she heard or saw, so she won't forget them. She would be able to tell them to other people. So instead of that, she's keeping diaries. So all of the little notebooks, journals, and books that I put in her bedroom was supposed to be her journals. Maybe some of them are about her life, about her day-to-day musings, and some of them are dedicated to lives of other people, dedicated to the gossip that she's collecting. I gave her a small desk in her bedroom with a quilt on it and some journals to write in. I also snuck some letters in different parts of her bedroom. It's not that she necessarily hiding them, maybe she's just a little bit messy with her papers and kind of wherever she read that letter, she left it there. All of these bedrooms turned out to be a little bit more cluttered, less spacious that I would like, that I originally planned. For some reason I thought that I would have a lot more room that I ended up having. I think the hardest part of decorating these medieval houses for me is curtains. I don't know why. For some reason curtains in this game are so difficult. They're so ugly. So every time there is a window, I spent a bunch of time trying every single curtain on that window and decided that I hate them all, choosing the ones that I had less. Eliza has a bathroom in her bedroom with a bathtub, a toilet, and a sink. Bob doesn't have his own bathroom. His bedroom a lot smaller actually. It just kind of worked out like that with a floor plan, but he has a balcony, and later I will put chess on that balcony so he can work on his logic skill there if he would like. There is one kid's bedroom with one single bed. This bedroom meant for Iggy. He's a child already. I also put a desk in there. I think Pancakes would care about Iggy's education, so he would spend quite a bit of time at his desk. But I also put a dollhouse because he's still a child. Maybe he still wants to play, and then his younger siblings can use that dollhouse. And above that dollhouse I put a curtains from Blooming's Room kit, these vines curtains. Also added a pictures that are kind of framed above those curtains, and with those pictures with greenery and the castle dollhouse, it looks so magical in that corner. It just looks like fairy tale. I love it so much. I also added those green curtains into twins bedroom. I actually put a toddler bed in that bedroom just because I like look of them more than infant bed. As I was filming this video and going in and out live mod and build mod, they aged up into the infants from newborns. So on the gallery this house will come with 2 toddler beds. I added a bathtub in this bedroom with the idea that it is for bathing them, so you don't need to take them downstairs to the shared bathroom. And I also put this chair next to the bathtub from City Living that has moon and stars on it. I always loved this chair from City Living. It looks so magical. And I think you can only get it, I typed on cheat that will allow me to get locked objects. But yes, City Living has very magical chair. I love using it in kids' bedrooms a lot. And it also has another green swatch with flowers. And I play tested kids' bedroom, toddler bedroom, because it looked really tight, but everything is functional. Beds are functional, chairs functional, and bathtub is functional. I put 2 living chairs in this bedroom. There are no high chairs in this whole house. I do not like high chairs. I don't like using them, no matter if I play in medieval context or in modern context. They just annoying. You need an adult to put child in and take him out, and sometimes they still glitch. They work better than they used to, but they still glitch. Sometimes your sim will get stuck in the loop of taking child out of the high chair and putting it back in multiple of times doing that, and that's so annoying. Usually I just reset the chair, which is teleports the child out of it. But if you put food near living chairs, toddlers will just take food and climb into living chair and eat it there, which in my opinion looks really cute. And especially in this bedroom, they will do it in front of the fireplace. Very cozy, very warm. After this top floor with bedrooms, I moved on to the kitchen, and kitchen is in the basement. It's really big kitchen, and I think kitchens are my favorite part of these medieval houses. This house is not an exception. I made a separate little box for stove that is kind of shoved into fireplace. It's functional. It's kind of DIY hearth, and I added a lot of shelves, a lot of storage. Also a lot of storage being just like on the floor of jars and chests and crates with something. On the left side from the stove there is a washing area with a sink, and I also put multiple of like vases, jugs around it. They either need to be washed or just been washed and standing there. There's also a laundry in this kitchen. I put in a wash tub. I thought that it makes sense. It's where you will be boiling your water, or if not boiling, just heating up your water. Also a little picnic table. It could be just to put something on there, or maybe servants can eat at it. Also obviously countertops for cooking. And then I built up a little room off of this big kitchen space. In that little room I put bunk bed and a toilet and a bathtub. This is servant's bedroom. It's very sad looking and I feel kind of sorry for that, but I did not have any other space in this house for them. And basement is kind of, you can make it as big as you want. You can make it as big as a lot. I lost a little bit of my recording between finishing the kitchen and starting dining room. In that little bit I was just adding a lot of details and clutter, so it's kind of jumps from kitchen not being cluttered at all to being fully cluttered. But yeah, just basically was adding a little items, pots and pans and jugs, adding enough candles so it looks lit. And then I went upstairs and was working on dining room. So basically you enter in this house into dining room. I don't know how right that is, but that's how it worked out. I was agonizing over swatches on the dining table. Oh my god, why get together wood swatches so not consistent over all of the items in that pack? I love the dining table and chairs from Get Together, but it just doesn't have the same swatches as, for example, bench from that pack, or windows, or anything else. So I swapped it to different table, I think base game table and base game chairs. And also added some baskets in the corner of dining room and rotated them with tool mod, and I really like the little bit of details that added. I feel like I've seen lots of baskets in every time I try to look up interiors of medieval houses. There's always so much baskets, and I feel like I never have enough of those in my medieval builds. And the very last room in this house, like the second part of first floor, I struggled a lot with it. First of all, I made a bathroom in there. This is shared bathroom, and this is like your standard just functional Sims 4 bathroom that has sink and a toilet and a bathtub in it. I thought that it would be useful to have one because this house can technically sleep 3, 5, 7, at least 7 Sims if double beds used by one person each, from 7 to 9 Sims. And there is one bathroom in Eliza's bedroom, one random bathtub in toddler's bedroom, and one bathroom in the basement, combined with servant's bedroom. So I decided that just one simple separate bathroom is a good idea. So I added it there. But the rest of the space was a little bit confusing to me. I did not know what I want to put in there. I ended up with kind of a living room situation. This fireplace, this is big couch, a cards table, and a bar. It could be like Bob's space, or maybe space where Bob receives guests. You know, instead of giving him a study office of some sort where he could like do his business, he does that in this room with a bar and cards table, you know, to set the mood. And also this room has the second wooden bear, first wooden bear in Bob's bedroom, so these rooms are clearly connected, and Bob likes wooden bears. I don't know how long this voiceover will end up being. I'm kind of afraid that it will be longer than my actual video. There is more things that I wanted to talk to you about, not actually related to this build. Like for example, a new trailer that came out recently for Enchanted by Nature, I think it's called. Fairies! Fairies are coming to The Sims, oh my god. I feel like I've been waiting for that for so long that at some point I just stopped waiting and made up my own fairies out of aliens. And it will be kind of awkward, I think, from now forward when I will be calling aliens fairies and people maybe will think that I'm talking about actual fairies. I don't know what I will do with that. But the trailer for Enchanted by Nature came out when I was building this house. So I like took a pause from building this house to watch trailer and was actually very pleasantly surprised by it. I don't think I've been that excited for Sims pack since Cottage Living probably, which is my favorite pack for Sims 4. I have packs that came out later. I have Werewolves and I have Crystal Creations, but a Cottage Living is still my favorite. It's still the most exciting one for me. And I kind of felt the same feelings that I while watching the trailer for Enchanted by Nature. Like the aesthetics of it and all the living of the land, nature nomad aspect of it, and obviously fairies. I don't think I will be buying it even because Sims DLCs are very expensive and I usually buy them on sales only. So in a year I'll maybe play with fairies, but I surely will be watching everybody's playthroughs with that pack when it will come out. So far I'm just enjoying the feeling of being actually excited by Sims 4 pack, because everything they've been making lately wasn't that exciting for me. Yeah, I will need to think what to do with my alien fairies. Maybe I will just find a different word to call them. Okay, I'm sure that at this point video is ending, and this is House for Medieval Merchant. It's built without any custom content, and if you want to play in it, you can download it from my gallery. I will put name on the screen again, and it will be in the description down below too. Along with the links to my other medieval builds and playlist with my medieval builds. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave it a like, comment on it. It helps channel to grow and push it further to more simmers. And if you would like to stick around and see more medieval builds and historical gameplay, consider subscribing to the channel. And also check out video you see right now on the screen. You too think you might like it. And I'll see you in the next one. Until then, bye!
Yori Bimna.